Hey everybody, Dave here from American Muscle, and I'm going to talk to you today about the benefits of a cold air intake kit. We know that installing one of these is the first step you should take when upgrading your engine for more air. With our 2006 GT, we're going to install a JLT cold air intake kit today. This kit here is going to replace your restrictive factory tubing and your restrictive factory filter with a much larger tube and a much higher flowing filter. As we all know, more air equals more power. Let's take a look at your stock intake. Your stock intake is often made up of a cloth material filter that sits at the end of a bulky and restrictive tube that cuts off airflow to the engine. Now this setup is fine, but it's not ideal. Let's take a look at our JLT cold air intake kit. Now this kit obviously has a much larger filter than factory, combined with a larger diameter tubing, and it's always going to make you more power because it's always going to flow more air. If you want to keep those gains going and maximize airflow, we recommend you combine the cold air intake kit with a throttle body at the same time. After all, you just installed an aftermarket cold air intake kit that's forcing more air into your factory throttle body. Why not replace it with an aftermarket higher flowing throttle body that's going to go ahead and allow you to use that air more efficiently and give you maximum gains? Today we're going to combine our cold air intake kit with a Bama custom tune to try and make the most power we possibly can. Now when you're looking at 2005 to 2009 cold air intake kits, you have two options available to you. Ones that require a tune and a tuner, and ones that don't. Now the ones that do not require a tune are going to provide the car with just enough air to stay within the factory parameters. The ones that do require that tune are going to allow you to get the most air possible and make you the most power possible. Now just because your cold air intake kit doesn't require a tune doesn't mean you can't combine the two. Anytime you add a Bama custom tune to a cold air intake kit, you're going to maximize your power gains. Installing this kit couldn't be easier. You use simple hand tools to remove your factory tubing and your factory air box. Then go ahead and replace it with your aftermarket cold air intake kit. This should take you a half hour to maybe an hour at home. As an added bonus, that filter in the cold air intake kit is actually going to capture more harmful particulates than your factory filter and is rechargeable and reusable when you purchase a recharge kit. When looking at cold air intake kits, you have two material options to choose from. You have a plastic and you have a metal. Now, the metal intake delivers a ton of power and has a high polish shine right out of the box, and it does so without breaking the bank. The metal does, however, tend to retain slightly more heat, so it can increase the air's incoming temperature. Now, plastic tubing, on the other hand, won't absorb as much heat, which means you're going to get the coolest and most dense air. That means you're going to make the most horsepower, which is why we chose the JLT kit today for our 06 GT. Now that the installation is complete, let's go ahead and talk about one of my favorite topics, horsepower. A cold air intake kit, such as our JLT here, when combined with a Bama custom tune, is going to net you somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 horsepower. And let me tell you, on a car like this, 20 to 30 horsepower is more than enough to feel a big difference on the street. Which brings me to my next topic. I think it's about time I take this out on the street and actually try it out. Alright, let's recap. You have a higher flowing filter for improved performance. You have a better flowing filter for improved fuel economy, and a reusable filter to help save you time and money. And you haven't made the switch yet because why? Now, our knowledgeable customer service staff is always here to answer any of your Mustang related questions. Whether it's about a cold air intake kit, a throttle body, whatever it may be, give us a call.